good. The flag's flying. Beach ball is bouncing.
Yes, yes. Something, isn't it?
Yeah.
Something inside when someone that's been close has been caught in their life. What you need is someone to prove you wrong, take away that doubt that you had all along.
I hear you're from the Oregonian? Yeah. Yeah, all right. Nice to meet you. I'm Joe Anybody. I do a little videoing out here on these guys for the last few weeks, so nice to see the big press out here.
Someone to prove you wrong, take away
Day 70.
Did we meet at the Peace House earlier this year? John and Weaver? Or am I crazy? That was got the evidence of my church Well, not today. This is my last claim. Oh, you get $6.
Hey, that's better than a card.
$6 like
What you need is someone to prove you wrong. Take away that doubt and help you to be strong. 'Cause it's no use to blame anyone. It just ain't no use once the blood has flown.
It came about because someone suggested not so long ago that I was.
Oh, they like The Office?
Oh, really?
Probably due to that.
Because somebody might not want to leave.
Where are the non-union people?
Excuse me?
Where are the non-union people?
Fine, I know, you
Why
folks
do you
are
have
nice
to
to
do
see you
overflow?
again. Excuse me?
Why do you have the overflow?
Well, let me put it this way, some of the protesters were a little rowdier than they were.
Oh, you mean the ones that didn't
Just
want
for
to go?
security.
They didn't want to leave?
Yeah, so, that's what we're
So
doing.
that's a reaction from Monday?
You know,
That was, yeah.
So we shouldn't bring you any rice? That's bad.
the rice went to fish, an emergency
That's
food bank.
That's
Yeah.
why I volunteered
Yeah,
fish.
yeah, good. Yeah, well, Earl supported the fish for a really long time, so,
So you're not going to let people just walk into your office anymore?
Wow.
no.
Is that new policy, or is it just a
It's-
temporary thing in lieu
well,
of just
we hope it's just a temporary thing, but, you know, I mean, they got really rowdy and really disruptive, and so it just,
But we
you know.
never have to. I just think that's a curious thing, that you would lock the door to us when we've never done that.
Well, you know, we just kind of don't know how things go, so it's just simply this way.
You might want to go check that policy out. Unless you, do you want this to become public policy?
No, we don't.
Well, there's an
Don't want this to be
Oregonian
public.
reporter out there waiting to hear how things went when we came in here.
This person is welcome to come in and talk with us. Maybe
Well,
we can come with him.
I
It's
don't know
just
if he
fine.
cares or not, but
I don't know either,
You know.
but I'd be, I'm glad to do that, but
So
It's
for
just
the
easier to talk to you
near
out here.
future, you're going to keep the door locked?
I can't say that we're going to do that in the future. It's not something that we particularly like doing, but as I said, became a security issue on Monday. So just to make sure everything
what
just went
was
smoothly.
unsecure?
Oh, someone secured, threatened violence in there? I find that hard to believe.
No, they were blocking
They
the
blocked
entrance.
her.
No, they were blocking the entrance to the office. They wouldn't let staff in. They wouldn't let constituents
Oh.
in. We had a blind constituent
Oh, just a little
who was here for a
civil
meeting,
disobedience,
trying to
yeah.
get some help with her Social Security. They would not let her in.
But then when you had them arrested, that cleared the doorway.
We did not have them arrested. First of all, no.
No,
Why not?
security has to be arrested.
Ashford Security called the police
That's the way
because
they do it.
there were a number of other tenants who were being disturbed by the noise and carrying on that went on in this office. So the police came and we informed them that they needed to leave, and if they weren't leaving, then they could be
Well, did you
accused
notify
of-
security that they were here?
No, they needed to notify.
Nobody
security.
needs to
No.
notify security.
They were quite
noticed.
nice,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh, data
So, and as I
On
said,
the
you know,
job.
other tenants, it was disturbing other tenants, and which kind of puts us in a bad situation. But in any case, the police were here. Our chief of staff notified the protesters that they were being disruptive, they were blocking access, and we asked them to leave. If they wouldn't leave, then they could be arrested for trespassing. And either before the police showed up or when they came, a number of people decided to leave.
Did you know these two were union officials?
They were with Jobs with the Justice.
Yes, some
They were
of them
union officials.
There are some people, again, and I don't know who the
Inside,
particulars
they were
are.
union officials.
Another thing you may not know is that this is, puts your office in a league with Gordon Smith's office.
I know, and I believe.
Right there, right up there with
and I
him about
believe-
civil disobedience.
And I believe that Senator Wyden's office has had some problems too in the past. But it just, you know, I mean, I certainly understand and sympathize with people, you know, protesting and making a point, and this is perfect. I've done it myself on a number of occasions, but it just becomes very disruptive, and it's unfair to other constituents because we can't get anything done. As I said, a blind woman who needs help with her Social Security couldn't get in the office, so that's
I'm sure one of those people would have brought her back at a different time, and
So,
that would
yeah.
not have been a problem.
So anyway, it's not a situation that's to our liking particularly, but we need to.
Okay.
Well, I didn't think so. I mean, arresting union officials is not good PR for the world.
No, and as I said, we didn't arrest them, and the police, to their credit, you know, I said, you know, I know some of you want to get arrested, that's fine. So I don't recommend it, you know, and gave them many opportunities to leave, to do something else, and there's some people who just obviously wanted to be arrested, so.
Why did he vote for the pro trade?
Because he feels that it's got good environmental and labor standards. As a matter of fact, these are the very standards that unions were asking for years ago, and he finally got them in, so. And there's more information on the website.
And you really believe that they're going to be implemented? Suppose they're not.
Well, then we need to revisit that, don't we? I mean, you have to.
It's kind of like
You have to go something on.
You know, we screw up, let's redo it.
Yeah, well.
They haven't redone it.
I mean, you take some things on faith, other things you can't take on faith, and you have to figure out where to draw the line.
Okay.
So has he put anything on the website about
He
impeachment
hasn't.
yet?
He's still working on a statement, and we'll have
He
something
said
up by the end of the week.
Yeah,
well,
when
we've got
was the
another,
end
what,
of the week?
36
Tomorrow?
hours tomorrow? Yeah.
Well, he did put a statement up on the trade.
Yeah, right,
but on
on the trade, but on
impeachment,
impeachment, no.
And
But I know that's,
Obviously, the unions disagree with them. I mean, they wouldn't get arrested if they
some of them,
didn't
and some of them are remaining neutral on that, so. You know, but there are obviously some people who disagree with it.
It's always been nice to be able to come down here and have open access to your congressmen, and
Yeah.
and there's some legal hearings going on for the Smith as he's blocking people. There's something that's been held in court for like 2 months now, waiting to make a decision for the people to be able to come in and see.
Absolutely.
So, and I've thanked you guys. I've called your Washington
We made
office.
you cookies and
Yeah.
coffee, and,
I
I mean, you
didn't
know,
get
yeah,
any
exactly.
cookies.
Well,
I
all I
didn't
can
get-
say is,
I was
you know,
deprived of the cookies.
bad timing.
Everybody
Yeah.
else came out with cookies.
Well, you know,
I got ice cream now.
our intent is to get back to that situation.
And I
you
can
know?
see sometimes somebody steps over the line, presses too hard, and then you got to take some sort of legal action. But to have one bad apple ruin it for everybody's constitutional rights, I
that's
mean,
what-
that could be questionable. I mean, it would almost be like, well, you might have to have people coming down every other weekend and arresting various peoples, but
And of
still,
course-
the policy of open door is
I know,
still here.
I know.
for-
But
And
also
I'll-
disruption, might be expected in something as serious as
Well-
what's going on in our country and
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the world,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, I know that.
And
But-
maybe some of these people should have to put up with it. Yeah?
Well,
Could have
you know,
meetings.
there's always-
And
that's-
maybe security should entirely, I mean, I can understand that the security of the building might do it, but that you guys are obviously complicit with that happening.
Well, we have to make sure that we are getting our work done, and it was extremely difficult.
But I
to be
imagine
talking to
these people
constituents
think
and
that
stuff.
reconsidering these
But
things
isn't-
is your
isn't
work,
your
and
work-
it is, it is your work.
Done because of constituents?
Well, when
I mean, we're
constituents
kind of
won't.
an important part of it.
Oh, I know that, but, and again, this is not for you as a result of some, as you said, a few bad apples, and that's what bad
Well, I'm
apples
not
do,
sure they were bad
unfortunately.
apples, they were
Well,
noisy
well,
or
I'm just saying-
something, you know.
Well, they were
brought
noisy.
rice.
Right, yeah, and well, and I wouldn't mind.
They made a spectacle and hoping to get someone's
Right,
attention,
but
I imagine.
what the kind of the final straw was keeping us from our jobs, because we have a right to be able to access our office too, and helping the constituents get the help that they need. That's just not, that's not fair to anybody. And obviously, they're concerned about Peruvian workers and farmers and things. I mean, that's the wonderful ideas to have. On the other hand, there are people right here who need help, and we are prohibited from doing that. That's not fair. So that's why we had to take this step. And, if this continues, then, I think, we all kind of need to talk to folks there, because they don't make things any easier for you, unfortunately. They're not making things easier for us.
Well, I just think if...
I completely support their right to do what they did, and
If Bush
if security arrests them, it's one thing. I feel ashamed every time a public official, especially one that I voted for or would have voted for, has protesters arrested.
We
their
did not,
office.
again, we did not have.
Well,
the
you
rest
went
of-
along with it
No,
real
no, no, no,
seriously.
no. What we did is we took as much as we could take, but when it became a problem, it was a violation of our rights to get to do the work we do.
Well, that's what I mean.
And a prohibition to do the work that we need to do for our constituents, then we told them that they were trespassing and they needed to leave.
But the
And
very-
and
you know,
after
the
that,
very-
it was,
the
we
very
did not have them
foundation-
arrested. It was
the very
they
foundation
who
of
decided
of
to.
I said
protest
complicit. I know you didn't do
The very
it.
foundation of protest is irritation.
Yeah.
And those guys were absolutely irritated that he would sign on to this.
You know-
Now, I don't know anything about this trade with Peru. I mean, I'd have to research the whole thing.
Sure,
I don't know
right.
what the effects here is, and I don't know what the effect down there.
Actually, it has very little
But we
effect
do
in
know
Oregon,
what
right.
happened in Mexico. And that trade screwed the Mexicans.
Right. And
So we're worried about the Peruvians being screwed also.
I know
Now
that.
you're saying
And
there's
this is a much
safeguards.
different, and this is a much different agreement. And if it had been like NAFTA, Earl would not
Did
have voted for
Blumenauer
it.
vote for NAFTA?
He was not there for NAFTA. He voted against CAFTA.
He voted against
And
CAFTA?
he's come a long way in terms of
What
free
I've
trade.
read is it's going to ruin things for the local farmers in
Peru?
Peru because it's going to allow cheap wheat and, I don't know,
Well, we
rice, whatever in
subsidize
there.
the product to go
You know,
down there.
So,
That's
so-
the
And
big
that,
pro- Are you
that's
Joe?
an issue, yes.
I'm Miki. We don't think we've met yet. And you are
And I'm Joe too. I'm Joe anybody.
Joe anybody.
Yeah,
Nice
hi.
to meet you, Joe.
Hi.
Miki Blizzard. And you are
Sarah.
Nice to meet you, Sarah.
Are you one of the a secretary or representative of the office here? Just your standings with the affiliation?
Yep, I'm on Earl's staff here.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but
You're
but
on the staff
you
here?
brought- I'm on a staff here in Portland, not in DC. I work in this office.
And what do you do here?
I work on livable communities issues.
Livable
A lot-
communities?
A lot of urban issues
Rusting
and
people are not livable.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
sustainability issues. But the point you raised about the subsidies, that's the key thing, because it's our farm bill that's putting farmers in developing countries, including Peru, at risk, for sugar, for rice, for wheat. And that's what Earl's been working very hard to change.
But why come out and endorse this when you have this problem over here? And again, I'm not an expert in this,
Yeah.
so I'm kind of talking off what I've read and off the top of my head. But it seems that the unions are saying, look, you are screwing the Peruvians.
Not all the unions are
Because
saying
of what's
that,
happening
as a
with
matter of
this
fact.
farm bill,
The
and
AFL
I'll grant you that one. But why come out and say, well, we're going to do this, but we're going to fix this later,
Fix what later?
the farm bill?
Oh, no, they're working on it right now. And Earl has introduced a number of things into the
But
House
why
version of
let
the
it
farm
on the
bill.
committee until you fix the farm bill? So you're saying this is corrupt over here,
No, I didn't say corrupt is, I mean, that's kind of a
well, if it
perspective
screws the
on-
Peruvians, it's
What I'm
corrupt.
saying is that, I mean, I agree with you. I don't like the way it is either. Earl doesn't like the way it is either, which is why he's worked hard to change the subsidies
Why
in the
didn't he
farm
just say,
bill.
okay, guys, we ain't gonna let this out of committee until this thing is fixed over here?
What, the improvement? Because it's not that simple. First of all, the farm bill has already
Of
passed
course
the
it's not
House.
that simple.
Yeah, right. And that's a frustration when things aren't going your way.
Okay, well,
For sure.
I'm going to leave, and I just hope you will really consider and talk to Earl about the really bad effect on his constituents to having a locked office.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Okay.
it's bad
I'm
for
gonna
all of
leave
us,
too,
Sarah.
because we're gonna go back and
I do
forth,
agree.
and I don't know enough about this. I'm just concerned that the unions themselves.
Not all the unions objected to the Peruvian.
Well, it doesn't have to be
I know
all of them.
AFL-CIO was
The
vigilant.
AFL-CIO on the hierarchy
And
is
there's
corrupt.
some-
They're corrupt. I used to be a union
Well, then-
steward,
then-
so I know.
Okay,
It's the
but
local level that's
If you
really
see them corrupt,
good.
then why do you care if they support the bill or not? I mean, you kind of can't have it both ways.
No,
Excuse me, I think if you're going to have this discussion, you shouldn't have it in the hall, because it's
Yeah,
really
this is
disrupting
good.
to other people in the building. You should
Yeah,
open
we're
the
not
door
gonna
at
do it.
least for the
Because I don't really
discussion.
know enough about this.
Well, there's some
but
information on the
it's
website,
bothering-
and there's,
it's
and
bothering
if
me
you
that he
want
would
some
do
more
that.
information, okay, Earl voted for the bill because he thinks it's a good one, unlike previous bills. There's some good standards in there that labor and environmental.
They're giving me a headache because you're saying he thinks it's a good bill, but we have this other corrupt thing that's going on from the farm bill that really makes it corrupt when it gets down here to the Peruvian people.
No, they said the farm bill probably has a bigger impact on
Is it
things
true,
than
is it
the
true
veteran agreement.
that we subsidize so high that when it gets to the Peruvian farmers, to be in competition with us, they get screwed? End of story, shouldn't have voted for it.
And so
End of
you should-
story.
You should talk to the senators about that because the farm bill is now in the Senate.
If you think I am,
I think it's rude you won't open the door and let us in there for this conversation.
If they see me
It's
coming,
over the top.
they take aspirins.
We
So
give you
it's not
cookies.
that I'm not talking to them.
Yeah, right.
I'm talking to you because you represent my congressman.
Right.
All right?
And
I
I'm
talked to
listening.
Wyden, I talked to Senator Smith, I was arrested in his office. So it's not that we're not talking to everybody.
Thank you. Let me keep this?
Yes.
Or you want this? Okay.
No.
Great.
See if you can get the door open.
Okay, go ahead. Now, what were you saying there?
Right, so if Nancy Pelosi is saying that impeachment is off the table, then that's saying that democracy is off the table. Because if the majority of Americans want impeachment, who is she to say, or who is anyone to say, that we can't have impeachment proceedings? We're the most criminal administration in our nation's history. If impeachment proceedings began, the amount of evidence that could be presented would be overwhelming. The case is there. It just needs to begin. And so the people want it, so it should begin. Pelosi, John Conyers should get behind Dennis Kucinich in supporting impeachment. And Ron Paul and other candidates should be supporting impeachment and a reopening of the 9/11 investigation too. People need to talk about quality sources of information like David Ray Griffin's books on 9/11, Scholars for 9/11 Truth and Justice. People need to check out impeachpush.tv and look at the evidence and push for impeachment. So,
Thank you. You well rounded it up there. Thanks.
right on.
Yeah. Good point. Do you guys have a website, or she was referring to?
I
Or?
have a page. It's like a ZADS page. Have you heard of that? ZADS is like an alternative.
Yeah. Do you want to tell me what www?
Oh, okay. It's legalizehemp.
Uh-huh.
.zads, ZAADZ.com.
Okay. Yeah.
And I got stuff on 9/11 Truth and
Yeah, we had like a crazy rain and ice.
impeachment and everything on that.
Civil rights issues, or human rights, or
Yeah, well, I got a list of policies I put together. I call the Progressive Manifesto, and on there there's a lot of civil rights and human rights and environmental.
Good. Good. That's all the stuff I'm covering too. So yeah, we're on the same page.
Impeachment and 9/11 are kind of like, those are the most crucial right now. And once we can take care of those, then we can deal with, then we can get universal health care, then we can get education, then we can get paper ballots. It seems like, but until we get impeachment, we're not going to have everything else that we should be having.
Yeah.
We're not going to have all the things that our tax dollars are supposed to be going towards, And we're not going to end the war because they're going to keep using 9/11 as the excuse for the torture, for the illegal detentions, for everything. For invading Iran, if we do that. 9/11 is going to be the eternal excuse. And they can violate the Constitution more and more. We're going to have Patriot Act 3, 4, 5, and 6, and they're going to use 9/11 every time as a justification. But if you look into 9/11, the official story doesn't hold up to the facts at all. And it's so well documented now. If you see documentaries like 9/11 Press for Truth, or read any of David Ray Griffin's books, or look at stj911.org, it's so high quality. You can't just disregard it as crazy conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
It's so obvious now. The evidence is so well presented that we need to reopen 9/11, and we need to destroy this myth that's, it's not only being used by our government, but by other governments too. After 9/11 is becoming like this worldwide excuse for, police state measures worldwide, not only by our government, by others too. So I think it's the most crucial thing, impeachment and 9/11 truth. And then we can hopefully get to important issues like clean energy, like legalizing industrial hemp so we don't have to continue deforestation, using canaf and hemp instead of trees, and using alternative fuels, paper ballots. Paper ballots maybe you could think of as like really the most fundamental thing, because if we had democratic elections, they wouldn't have even gotten in power in the first place.
Right.
But I think at this point, since they're already in power, we need the truth, 9/11 truth and impeachment, and then get the paper ballots in also for 2008.
Good agenda. Yeah,
we used to bag groceries for like a nickel or something. Money at a summer house.
Ain't it funny how you lose? That's something